We've got a special group today here.
I'm Brad Baca, head coach at Round Valley High School. Been coaching in Round Valley. This is my 16th year. I coached with Coach Bell for 10 years, and then he left. I took over, and this is the 6th year. So it's been a fun time coaching. Love these being around the kids, the coaches. But it's been a good time. Something about me is I have 4 daughters, so there are no other. Even our animals are female. So it's fun being around men and boys because I don't have any at home. So it's a little. I love my daughters. I'm not saying anything about that because I love them. I love my wife, but sometimes you got to get away and be around some testosterone, I guess.
do some man stuff.
But that's all about me.
I'm Michael Alba. I'm the defensive coordinator at Round Valley. This is my 4th year as the defensive coordinator there going in. I've been in the Round Valley community for 6 years now. My 18th year as coaching football. And I have a son. He's 5, and I love the community that he gets to grow up in. And something about me, I have horses, and I love to team rope.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Shane Slade. I think this is the 5th season that I've been with the football team. Coached the running backs and safeties, and then also the head coach for the girls basketball team there at the high school. I'm a lot like Coach Baca. All girls at the house, all the animals are females as well. So yeah, same as Coach. I need to be around some testosterone for sure.
I feel like I'm in very good company. Definitely a lot of experience. Once you put that together collectively, that is pretty impressive. How much time that you guys have spent coaching?
Yeah, we've got a good group. Coach Haas has been, what has he been
20
coaching?
plus.
20-something years, our offensive line, defensive line coach. So there's a lot of experience on that staff, which I'm extremely grateful for because I don't ever have to worry about what the defense is doing, him and Coach Alba and Travis Tricky run our weights, and Tricky coaches the linebackers. Never have to worry about any of that. I don't have to worry about the offensive line. I don't have to worry about safeties. I just call the offense and do all the stuff, the admin stuff, and I don't have to worry about a lot of what they do, which takes so much off my shoulders. So I feel like we have the best coaching staff in Arizona. I know that would be argued.
Hey.
I know Snowflake would argue that, other teams would argue, but that's just how I feel, and I'm more than grateful for these guys. So I appreciate them and what they do.
I would say last year speaks volumes, right?
For the coaches?
Yeah.
For especially these guys, yes. It was impressive what we were able to do, and someone asked me the other day, they said, what do you think it is percentage-wise? Is it coaching or kids? I said, well, you're not going to win if you don't have some athletes. You've got to have good kids. And we have amazing kids, amazing parents. The community is amazing. So it's not like we don't have good players and we just put this out of, nothing. So we had a lot of great athletes, but like you said, the experience of coaching and what we've been through, and I'll even like coaches we've coached with other coaches we've been around, like Coach Bell, learning from him and being around all these other coaches, it's helped me, it's helped us. And that experience, I think, showed because we were able to take all of that and learn from past experiences and put it together in what we were able to do last year. So, yeah, I do think coaching had a big part of it, but we also had a lot of amazing athletes.
Definitely. So for those that are watching this that don't know, you were the 3A state champions last year.
Yes.
Going into the season, what were the challenges that you guys were seeing, and what did you guys need to do initially to set the stage for last year?
I think I'll let Coach Alba, because he gave a great speech in our camp right before the season started that I think, I wouldn't even say think, I know it's what set the tone for what we were throughout last season, so I'll let him take that.
Well, I'm kind of going right before that. When I first moved up there, I had that senior classes. I moved to Round Valley in 2020.
Tough
and,
year.
Yeah, and it was great. I mean, the political stuff aside, but that's why it kind of helped me move up there. I was born in Springerville, so I've kind of known the community for my whole life. But I moved up there. They asked me to coach the 7th grade football team, and I was done coaching, and I was like kind of like I'm moving up here to just kind of ride horses and take care of the family place, and I fell in love with that senior group last year. Is when they were 7th graders. I was just going to coach for a couple months, be done, and they were a phenomenal young group. So it kind of kept me in the loop, and so we started a 0-hour weights class their sophomore year, and the kids bought in the weight room. That's been a huge part of ours growing in this, what we have today. So they were more resilient, that mental toughness side of the weight room. And as we go into the season last year, I had one of our other assistants, Kyron Walker, sent me a video of it that John Gruden did a talk about. Stop dreaming, stop going for the dream, stop chasing, these are our goals, state title, this. Start just going each week to be a nightmare. You're going to kill somebody's dreams. You're going to get after that and have that nightmare mentality. We want to kill dreams. We don't want to just be hope and wishers and like in the thing. And so the kids really bought into that. And Brad came up with we want to be the outlaw community, because even during COVID, you kind of go back to, we didn't want to wear masks. We weren't going to wear a mask. You know what I mean? So that kind of that hard edge of a group of kids really bought into those two real concepts of we're this is what we are. And so it was very cool to see the kids use that each week, because they wanted to just crush things. And even like on our rings, they have Nightmare and Outlaws on the rings from last year. So,
and the colors fit well with that, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
The black and gold.
So that's that was a real cool mentality going into the season last year. And we never really wanted to really talk about what the opponents did. We were more of let's continue doing what we do and go take what we want.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So early on, you were able to establish alignment with your team around this idea that you were different, that you had something and you had a chip on your shoulder, right?
And that's what I think it is that chip on your shoulder, finding something that you can just, like you're saying, align, like you can rally around, that the kids believe in, that they find is like, okay, that makes sense to us, and that's what we want. We want to be that kind of team. And that speech, I mean, I remember sitting there, and after it, I was like, can I suit up? Are we ready to go?
Let's go hit.
I'm ready to go hit somebody. Let's go play football. So it was one of those where I think as a coach, sometimes you talk to kids and you're like, it went in one ear out the other. They're looking at the volleyball players play over there. They're not even paying attention to half the things you say. But that was one where I just saw they took it in. And then because when you leave there and their first cheer is 1, 2, 3 Nightmare or Outlaws or whatever they did, they do the little break and they say it, and you're like, okay, they paid attention to this one. Like they're in on this, and that buy-in right there, I think was pretty cool, because it continued and it never really dropped off, which you have the lulls in season, but that never really went away. So they had that mentality the whole year.
I think something else early in the season, and even at camp, with that group of kids, we knew we had exceptional talent. And what Coach Baca did, he did something completely different. And even some of us on the coaching staff was like, I don't know about this. I don't know if we should be telling them what you're telling them. But he started flipping the script, and he said, you guys are the best team. We went away from, we got to be scared, we got to respect every single team that's going to come in here. Yeah, we got to respect them. They're going to come in here and give us their best shot. But we're the best team in the state of Arizona. And you got to start believing that. And they didn't really believe it probably for, I don't know, first 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks. And then once they started seeing, okay, we really are pretty dang good, that just clicked and their confidence just skyrocketed. And like I said, there were some coaches that probably didn't agree with, hey, we shouldn't tell them how good they are, but it was a different mindset for them.
Yeah, I went on a limb on that one, but they proved me right.
It worked.
But,
It worked. It definitely
well,
worked.
it was one of those where you're kind of like, I'm saying this out loud, and as you're saying it, you're like, okay, we're putting some
Do
something on
I
this.
believe this?
And I remember telling these guys and the kids after, you can say things like that to get people fired up and to get people excited. That was one I 100% believed. It wasn't because we even talked about it in that day was there's been years before where we're like, well, if we can get past Thatcher, if we can get past Ben Franklin, if we can, if all these things fall into place, and it was like, you know what? Let's just tell them. You're better than those guys. You're the best team. Stop thinking that there's someone else out there that they're the team to beat, and just look at yourself as we're the team to beat. And it is, you can't do that with every team. You have to kind of decide, okay, is this perfect for this team? And it worked out. And then going along with the Outlaws and Nightmare, they took all of that and were just that whole part of them. It became one whole, just like persona of the whole team of this is what we are.
The whole unifying factor.
So it was just unified them all to where they, like I said, they felt it because they are. Round Valley kind of has always been an outlaw community. They're kind of like, you go back to the Wild West and you read the stories about back then, and you just like how he said with like COVID, it's like, we're not following the rules. We're doing whatever the heck we want. And it's that attitude of, and they saw that and they're kind of like, yeah, that's what we are. And then it just takes off. So that's where I think it resonated with them so much, and it was such a cool thing to see.
How did that change, and how did you get that where your whole coaching staff believed that and communicated that?
I think they knew we were special. They knew that was a special group, and I think it's just one of those statements that's not really, you don't say that.
Yeah.
Even because we're both big Notre Dame fans, and Lou Holtz used to always just get up there and be like, "Oh, Boston College is the greatest team in the world, and I mean, you're favored to beat them by 40 points," and he's not talking about them. And I don't know what he did inside the locker room. He maybe said the opposite there. But so you're thinking coaches most of the time are just like, you know what, we better bring our A game and we better do this, and this is a great team. And it was more of, we're saying something that you don't normally say.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that the coaching staff didn't believe that or back it. I think they did, but everyone was like, I don't know if we should be saying this out
It's one of
loud.
those
Right
you
thing.
don't
You're gonna
say.
jinx it.
Yeah, you don't want
Someone go knock on some wood.
Yeah.
And that's I've in my coaching experiences, if you set an expectation that is maybe a little bit higher, you can get more out of them, out of these kids, but it also can backfire in some ways. And so I think that's speaks to what I'm saying is a little hesitation there.
Yeah.
But
There might have been, and even with kids, I think there might have been some of where they hesitate a little and think, are we the best team? And I think you go into the beginning of the season when the Push Ridge scrimmage was a huge confidence booster for them. That's the defending 3A state champion.
Yeah.
They were still good. I mean, they made it all the way to the semifinals. Great coach team. They're a lot of great athletes, and we came in there and played really well. And I think that was
this is real.
wait a
Yeah.
minute. And I think that everyone saw it. I remember us talking as coaches after and just being like, this is a special group. Like, this isn't normal. So
Well, I'm sure for those boys after that, and hearing you as coaches say that you are this, we are this.
yes.
Yeah, that it made that
they
connection.
start believing.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then like the next week we had Seton, which is coming down from 4A to 3A. And so everybody in the state was like, oh, well, this is your huge test. They're favored to be number one in the state. And so our kids just used that propelled from Push Ridge and being the returning state champs. They went right into saying, all right, well, let's go be a nightmare to this group now. And let's go and show them what 3A football's about, that we're not here. And we put a heck of a game on against Seton right there off the bat. And then that just really cemented that belief. Because I'm, like he said, we're all both like, I want a chip on my shoulder. I want something to always work for, to like, I got to be hungry. Something made me mad, so I want to work 10 hours harder on this than normal. You know what I mean? So that was the statement. My fear wasn't that we didn't think they were good. It was, do we tell them, when do you tell them that they're
Yeah,
the man? You know what I
absolutely.
mean? You know, like,
absolutely. So going into the season, you 3-4 games in, you guys are just knocking people off, and you're winning handily. From my perspective, right?
Yeah.
And then Blue Ridge. What happened?
That was the best thing to happen. I'm not saying, because if you know us, I hate losing. It's still, like when I talk about it, just the fact that we're saying we lost to Blue Ridge, it still hurts me inside, but it was what we needed at the time. And it wasn't one of those games where you're like, we didn't play hard. We didn't try hard. A lot of, like, and Blue Ridge played great. We'll never take anything away from them. We're not one of those teams that's like, oh, we'd beat them every single time. It was, you know what? They were a great team. They played great. They gave everyone trouble that they played last year. Valley Christian, Chrisman, all those teams. They had a great game plan and they executed, and we didn't. And that was what kind of happened in that game. We don't have any excuses for what happened. It was just not our night that night. And Blue Ridge is a tough place to play.
Yeah.
But I think we were woken up.
It was a great wake-up call
It was.
for coaches, players, everyone.
We knew we were good. Like we said, all the way back to scrimmage, all that, we knew we were good. We were, like you said, we were knocking people off. There were games in there where I'm like, we're not playing great. Our defense was playing great. Our offense wasn't always playing great. And we're still kind of like trying to figure things out. But when we got to that game and we lost, and we saw, like, okay, we're here at this point. What is our response going forward? What are we? And we gave that challenge to the kids. Like, what is your response? This has happened. We have two things to do here. We can either pick ourselves up and know who we are, because nothing has changed of who we are, or we can drop down and say, well, I guess we aren't really that good. Which one is it going to be? And we played Payson the next week, and Payson was a good football team. Mm-hmm. They were undefeated. They were beating everybody by 40 points. And we knew they were tough. They were going to be tough, and we came in and played one of our best games of the year.
and my only thing from that loss is we never took anybody for granted again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even teams that we played that were at the end of the year were like not good in the season, like their win totals low. The kids, we scout and report for them. Kids practiced hard for them. There was and mentality level. No one was like, oh, we'll overlook, like, oh, they're not good. Not that we didn't do that to Blue Ridge,
Yeah.
but there was like, we could use that, propelled us forward. Like we can use that now. Each kid each week was like, well, I mean, you guys can't overlook anybody. Like we can't just think that, oh, we're good now because we're 4-0 going into Blue Ridge. You can't think that. Each week is a potential opponent to come in, and you have to go again, kind of going back to which I used it as, you have to go crush in the beginning. You have to go crush their hopes. If you are that nightmare.
You look at teams that go undefeated through a whole season, like Indiana in college football. They never experienced a loss. But it's just that mindset that Signetti brings to that program of, I mean, you listen to him be interviewed and you're like, I don't think that guy thinks they're ever going to lose. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think it's that is what you have to instill in them to change their mindset of, this is just how I feel we're going. I mean, I played at St. John's, and that's when we won 3 in a row, and that's how I felt. I remember feeling like no one could beat us. No one's ever going to beat us.
You're telling me you played for St. John's and now you're
Yes,
coaching
I know.
Round Valley?
I shouldn't have even brought that up. That was a mistake.
He learned.
I learned. My wife's from Round Valley, so she got me there. So I'm grateful to her for that because I do love it. I love Round Valley. I loved growing up in St. John's. But yeah, Round Valley the way, like we talk about all the time, the kids are and the community, it's just a different animal. And it's fun to coach there. So that's
That's a cool thing.
yeah.
One of the things, you know, with Snowflake being in 4A, I miss the rivalries and the energy that brings that we've had with you guys and Sholo and Blue Ridge. And, I, in some ways, a little jealous of that because, I mean, we're one mountain, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We all unite over some common things, that you already mentioned some of those.
And when we go down to the valley, it's the box is always on the home team side, and I'll sit there and I'll look around. I'm like, well, we've got about 100 more fans on the visitor side than their home side, and it's crazy. But that's the support these small mountain teams get, and I mean, it makes a huge difference.
Huge difference, and gives energy to the players, gives energy to the coaches. I love it.
We knew 3A. It's every team is potentially like could knock you off, and so we knew the lineup. We were looking at it, and we're looking at the bracket, and we're like, we're gonna play that whole division of that Ben Franklin was in, because they had talked about it all season of this is the top division in 3A football was Seton Catholic, Gilbert Christian, Chrisman, Valley Christian, and Ben Franklin, which all of them were really good football teams. So we knew we're going through pretty much that whole group all the way to the state championship. But we still had that. We feel like we're still the best team, like we're the team, and we weren't saying it in an arrogant way of we're going to go in there and beat the crap out of everyone. We're just like, we know who we are at this point, and going into the playoffs, we had finally got. I mean, we had people that were hurt. It was almost like the stars just aligned. We had two of our best players that were hurt for the first six weeks, and they came back in the second half of the season. Trenton Trickey being one that transferred from Blue Ridge, and then Jeffrey Cochran, our safety, and we call him a bear back, but like an H back. And those two came back towards the end of the season and kind of re-energized things that they were. I mean, they hadn't really played a whole lot, so they were ready to go at that point. And going into the playoffs with that just confidence of we've got everybody healthy. We're on this, like we're going forward, we're going up, and it felt good. I don't think anyone was real.
Yeah, and my going into the playoffs, it was nice to not have to travel. The 2 years prior, we'd always have to we were always on the road in the quarters. Like it was always kind of that. This was the year we finally got to play 2 home games, and our kids really that kind of helped us go over because the quarters before the 2 years prior we played Sabino, had a tough knockout drag out. If we play them anywhere else, we were like it would have been better instead of playing at their home. The following year we played West Foothills, and it was the runner-up. There was the state champs, and then the runner-up at their place. So it was like finally for us going to the playoffs, I felt kind of we get to play in the dome for 2 rounds. If everything aligns and beating this, like Brad said, anybody in 3A can, because we learned that lesson in week 5 with Blue Ridge that we had to be a very serious for every opponent. But it was nice that was really going into the playoffs. We were like, if we take care of business, we got 2 in the dome, and that was a really nice aspect going into the playoffs for us that we can kind of like they got to come to here. We don't have to travel the 8 hours to River Valley or like it was or down to Tucson. Like it's huge
because you guys see it.
Oh yeah,
like being able to have the game.
It's a huge advantage. And 4A, if you're in the 1 or 2, you get 3.
Oh, you get 3, huh?
Yep.
Gosh,
and it's a week later. Yeah. We got the cold. You guys don't have the cold.
I know we're still inside. But
I think another thing going into the playoffs, we talked a lot about throughout the season, we really hadn't played a whole game of football. We would play 1 quarter really good, and we would win pretty easy. We played 2 quarters, and we're blowing people out. I think going into the playoffs, our best game, we maybe played 2.5 quarters of football, really played. And so going into the playoffs, we're like, if we can just put together 3 quarters of football, just 3 quarters. We're not asking for 4, just 3 quarters. And then the best game of the playoffs is a torrential downpour, and we put 4 quarters together, and it's one of the best games we play. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. The AIA kind of makes that a mess because you're they're pulling everybody all over the place. We were just talking about this coming here. You don't have your same normal schedule of all the other games, and you're kind of showing up. But one of the funny things that happened was our safety that just graduated, Brenton Walker. He got up, and I was out.
He was
They were
nervous.
telling me about this
He
later.
was so nervous. He just couldn't sit still because before the games, the kids would go throw the ball on the sideline just to get some nerves out. Like we just let them kind of be relaxed. As you're trying to make it like, oh, this isn't a big game. Normal football, the field doesn't change. Playoffs doesn't make the game different. Football's football. If it's week 1 or week 14, and so they're like, no, you guys got to be in there because we have to play in the same side as St. John's did in the 2A state title. So we're playing back to back. So we can't go out in the field. The kids can't just go throw the ball anywhere. So he gets up, and I'm just sitting there watching him. And he starts pacing the locker room. So our kids, and this is the kind of the group they were, and if this doesn't describe them, like I don't know what else would in your mind. They do like a Congo line. They start following Brenton and like every single kid is walking around this locker room.
Yeah.
In this snake, like the snake thing, the old snake game used to play on, and it just keeps getting longer and longer and longer, and we're just start laughing, and like it was that group just never really felt that pressure. They just found a way to be, and like that's like our kids like Brody Crick coming back. He's just that makes something to kind of take the edge off. It makes it funny. Like I'm giving a speech and I look over at Brody Crick and he's just smiling, and him and like JJ Logan just smiling at me like it's funny. And I'm like trying to be like, raw, like linebacker, run my head into the wall. Like, and they're just, nah. They just try to take that edge off of things. That, and then they came out and kind of had that where the pressure's on them. We know what we are. So that described that team. They literally were doing a Congo line. Like it was like, for me, I'm like I'm trying to read my schedule for it, trying to get mad at how I'm going to like fight the world. And they're just like, it was a cool thing to see right before the game to kind of take the pressure off. There was no pressure on us.
Yeah.
We're going to go enforce what we do at the right time. So it was cool to see. Like I was glad I didn't have to be a head coach out there like Brad's got it, talking to officials and doing all this stuff. I got to see the kids in that regard.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
And I walk in, and they're doing this, and I just look at them like, what are we doing? And the coaches are just laughing, and I'm like,
Just leave them alone.
Leave them alone. Let them do their thing, because that's how they were. Is they just had that, like he said, they just, I don't know, they were a different group of how they just interacted and how they took on pressure and games and everything. They just enjoyed it. I guess they had fun with everything we did.
We talked early in the season. We would, as coaches, we kind of try to motivate, and by that, sometimes you yell at them or try to get the best out of them, right? And they didn't respond to that. And so all of us coaches were like, kids nowadays are different. How do you motivate them? They got to have fun to want to be able to perform well. And so we stopped trying to be so serious. Yeah, there's a time and a place for, dead seriousness. But if they're having fun, if they're joking around or whatever, they played and they performed, and that was them in the championship game. I mean, obviously before doing a Congo line, and coach walks in and he's like, what do we oh, nope, leave them be. We'll talk to them in 5 minutes, and then all will be good.
That came out of the Blue Ridge game, because we talked to some of the leadership group we had. And I remember just asking them, I'm like, what do you guys need? What do you need to be successful? And our middle linebacker, the big, tough middle linebacker's like, it's just not as fun sometimes. And as a coach, old school coach, you're playing for Morgan back in the days where it wasn't fun ever. It was just
all business.
Winning is fun. And I remember just being like, what is fun?
What does that even mean?
What do you mean by fun?
Winning is fun.
Like my whole idea of fun is winning. And they're just like, well, it shouldn't be so serious all the time. And I remember just like, I took that home with me. Like, and we texted the coaches like, okay, let's try this. Let's just see what they're talking about. And that's what we let them. I think what finally happened is we let them be who they were. We let them we stopped trying to form them into this, well, you need to be this tough, hard-nosed, all this, and we're going to make you into what we think you should be. And we just said, you just be who you're going to be and play football. And I think that's going into the no pressure.
Yeah.
They felt that. They felt when they're like, we don't feel the pressure because our coach is sitting there, and I look at him and Sholo. We're tied 21-21. We have 4th and 5. I'm about to punt the ball. We're on like our own 45. And I look back at him and I'm like, punt? And he's like, go for it. I'm like,
Go for
I
it.
love this.
Defense has got you.
Defense has got you. So I'm like, I call the play. We get the first down. The kids take that as we don't have, they are so confident in us, and they just let us be and let us play, and then they perform. And I think that was a huge thing. Not even that we planned, or because you'll think, oh, it was great coaching. It was,
Yeah.
it was just kind of, that's how it fell into place. And it was like, oh, they made the decision. They were comfortable enough with us to be able to say, can we do this? And I think that was a great thing, that they were able to finally be themselves and like take some pressure
awesome.
off and just be able to play and have fun.
It happened throughout the season a lot of times, but it happened during the championship game too, where us as coaches are like, oh, come on, what do we got to do? We got to change things. And we have kids, like Coach said, 15 to 18-year-old kids coming up. Coach, don't worry. We got you. We got it.
Jackson Crick tells
He's a freshman.
He's a freshman, the one that blocked the punt at the very end. He tells, because Travis Trickey, our linebackers coach, is just standing there. He's like, we better pick it up, because our offense, I'm calling offense, and we didn't play that great. But we have a chance to put it away, and we don't get the first down, so we have to punt. Punt's not great, so we're putting our defense in a tough spot. They have to hold them, and Tricky's standing there, and he's just like, we better step up. And our little freshman, 15-year-old, is like, we got it.
He's a good athlete.
Yeah. It's like, we got it.
Don't worry,
We're
we
good.
got it.
Don't worry. And I remember when he told me that, I'm like, that was the confidence they had in everything we were doing and in each other, that they were just, we're good. Stop worrying about it. And that was that whole, the Congo line, all of that stuff came together where they were just like, this is just, we know what we're going to do. Just stop worrying about it. They put us at ease, kind of.
Yeah, for sure.
To where it's just like, oh, this is awesome that 15 to 18-year-old kids are putting 50-year-olds' minds at ease of, we got this, don't worry. But, so it was awesome to see.
That is. So the game was a dogfight.
It's my favorite.
You guys-
defensive all the
That was
time,
a
special team. You know what I mean?
defensive
Like
battle.
that's
Come on, offense, let's
I
go.
know.
Give the guys a break.
Offense didn't play our best, but it was such a cool game to see, just because we've talked about this before, is you're sitting on the sidelines and you're watching this happen in real life, and it's even surreal at the moment. You're kind of like, they got a kid going to Stanford that's 6'6", 320.
Big kid.
left guard.
And left guard, and we're playing this team, and you're looking at our kids, and they're just fighting for everything. And you sit there. There were times in the game where I'm like, this is unreal. This is unbelievable that this group has figured this out and is playing at this level and playing this well. And the defense, I mean, it was like they were possessed in that game, because they got marched on the first drive. They marched right down the field and scored. Mm-hmm. And I remember even looking at Coach Alba, and I was like, and he said it. He put my mind at ease right there. He's like, we're good. We got it. We'll be fine. 3 points the rest of the game. I mean, I was hoping offense was going to put up at least 20, but we didn't do our part as much. But the special teams and everything, and it was fun to watch that all come together, and just those kids perform at that level, and the coaches perform at that level that they did. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
State championships don't come around all the time.
No.
What are you doing right now to prepare for winning again?
The target, I love that you said the target, because our camp shirt is the RV. Well, the RV with a scope in the middle of the RVs in the middle of the scope, and that was done on purpose. This is what's happening now. You are no longer the underdog. Like, let's embrace this, that we're now being hunted. Like, they're going to give us their best shot every single week. So embrace that going forward. And You guys could talk about what you think about that, but that's kind of how we're trying to prepare them is have that mentality. But
My camp speech was kind of, we have to move on from the, can't be nightmares and outlaws anymore because they know you're there. Like, it's not a thing. So we have to try to like use different tactics. And we're trying to go, I've gone back and forth, been like, all right, is it too much pressure for the kids if we go like, you got to be the dog each week, and so we're trying to go back and forth and trying to figure out this team is going to be our next challenge. But like I said, these kids are fun to be around. Like, they're 6 a.m. lifting. We had kids that went in December were like still 6 a.m. lifting. We had a handful of kids there, and then January starts and there's 38 in the weight room every morning. So I just know our kids, and I'm just gonna say that that's the moving forward is we're gonna know we'll be able to compete. No, I'll never say more than that for the season. But I just love this group, and why I love coaching these young men in Round Valley is because they're just that grit, that toughness that they want to like still compete in an everyday thing. So moving forward, so we just want to continue building off of that and now saying, all right, well, we lose these kids. So like, I mean, now it's your time. I'm going to be the one to like, I want you to work out to replace him. Not say excuse me, that was a bad word. Not replace him. Like, I got to be him.
Right.
And like Coach Peterson, one of our snowflake guys that we got to come over, he gave a great speech at camp. And something's really resonated with me. Be the best you can be. Don't try to be like, he asked the thing, like, who's the best safety of all time? And I'm like, Ed Reed. Boom, in my head. Like, that's who I think is the best safety of all time. Who's the best linebacker? Like, Luke Kuechly. I'm like, those are just right off the top of my head who I believe. And then he's like, well, can you be those? And everybody's like, no, I can't. Why not? Well, but let's be the best you could be.
I think for me, yeah, we won last year, but everything that coach has been doing for the last 6 years brought us to that point. So it wasn't just the scheme we had last year, just the talent we had last year. It was the habits that have been created over the last 6 years. So that's what we're trying to continue. Yeah, obviously, we don't want to just sit back and say, hey, we made it. We're champs. We're going to do the same exact thing as we did last year. No, we're not going to be successful if we do that. We have to change things. But I think the behaviors, the culture, the things that the kids bought into 5 years ago, 4 years ago, will carry through and help us be successful this year again.
and that on that culture, something I've been thinking about the last couple of days of how good these kids are is every day after practice. And I'm like, I don't know if this is normal everywhere else. They come up and give us 5 and give us a hug. Every coach,
Every
and
kid.
every player. And I'm like, they have whatever they've bought into, whatever they feel that because we do care. And I think they sense that, they know that, because I've always said kids see right through BS. They know if someone cares or not. And I think, but they come up and they do that every single day and thank us for coaching them, which I'm like,
I love that.
does this
Yeah,
happen
that's cool.
everywhere? I don't know.
Did
Maybe
I
it
do that
does,
when I was
'cause
a
I
kid?
didn't do
Nope.
this. And it's not like we told them to do this or we asked them to do this. They've just done it. And it's one of those things that I kind of took for granted the last couple of years because they've done it for a while. And it's just been the last 2 days I've been like, this is a pretty cool thing that these kids appreciate what they're doing and what we're doing, and that they have that relationship with us, because we talk about relationships with kids and building those relationships, that it can't just be, if we are just there coaching football to win state championships, then we're in this for the wrong reasons. And we know that. And that's why the coaching staff we have is, you see it every day. There's not, if we were there to win state champions, we wouldn't be doing or championships every year or every single season. That was our only goal. They wouldn't be doing the things they do. They wouldn't be the talks they have with them, the inviting them over to their house for things, to giving or having little chats with them after practice because they saw that they weren't feeling great. You know what I mean? Just those things where the kids are like, there's somebody that comes and that cares. And I think that's why this staff is so different and so amazing, is they've put time into the kids, not just expected the kids to just respond to, because we're the coaches, you do what we say. It's we've given, and all of them have given. And then the kids are like, I'll play for that any day.
Yeah.
And so that's something I've just been really appreciating the last week, and what I think makes this a little bit different, which I'm saying, I'm sure it happens at other places. I'm sure that feeling's at other places, which I hope it is at every place, because I think that's what kids deserve.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I like what Brad does, and Shane, or we all see, we're at a lot of basketball games. We want our kids, like, we want them to be more than just a football player. Like, get it. That's what we coach, and that's what we're going to kind of always lean towards our, that's our passion. But if our kids, we want them to be, we want to go to their games. I want to see them be successful in all parts of life, not just football. You know what I mean? Like, and like just seeing that, like we got invited to, it was cool to see all three of us went to a former football player's wedding over the summer. Drove down to Safford to go to his wedding, and we went down and seen him. And that, I want to be in, like, that to me is almost more like, it's kind of hard to say this out loud, but it equals the state title, or maybe more, that I got to go to his wedding. I got to be in, see him become the full man he is. So that was something that I thought was very, like, I mean, for me, that was a huge win that I got invited to his wedding.
That's awesome.
I was something meaningful in his life that he invited. And again, it was us three down there, and the other coaches got invited, just couldn't make it. But it was like, it was cool that it's not just when football's over. And I tell some of the seniors, I talk crap, you're dead to me now. Like, you're like, you're no longer a thing. But that's not what I mean. I'm just giving them a hard time. But that's where I think is something part of what this culture has been this last 6 years and last 4 for me, being a part of the staff. And like, it's more than just a football. And so that's where we're trying to continue, like Shane said here, that it is something that we try to build and have that good relationships with the kids. And that's something that this staff, like I said, when I moved to Round Valley, I was retired from coaching. Like, I was done. I was ready to do something else in life. And now I'm here talking to you for another season.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming over today. This was fun for me. I could talk football all day.
Amen.
So can we.
we probably could go another hour and get into the nitty gritty, but we've reached our limit, and I just want to thank each one of you for the sacrifice that you make. The sacrifice of time away from your families, for these players and for the community is tremendous. And so thank you for the efforts that you put in. Thank you for serving the community and serving those boys. And I wish the best of luck for you. And hopefully you don't win another one, because they might throw you up into the 4A, and it gets pretty intense.
We get asked that all the time, and our response, like what we say, is okay. Well, we've talked about that. We don't have excuses. So if they throw us up there, we're ready.
It's
one
fun.
of those things you
We
can't
gotta do
control.
it.
We'll go and
can't
do what we can
control
do.
it, but I appreciate you, and we appreciate you having us on and for doing this and letting us talk about our kids and program. And so thank you.
Yeah, recognizing our kids is the best
And
thing.
for supporting us.
Go get another one, and let's talk again, okay?
Well, let's do it. We'll
the
try.
plan.
We're up for the challenge.
All right. Love it. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.